song was At Peace by the legend Former Hero. I witnessed his set at ADE, and it was very special. We were all there. We were all on stage vibing with him. A very special moment. Much love to Former Hero. We also heard Thursday Drive by Drowsy. Great track. Alright, it's takeover time, and today we have Laxity taking over the second half of this episode with his favorite songs. Josh, the floor is yours, my man. Have fun.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Laxity, and you're listening to my exclusive takeover for the second half of San Holo Presents Bitbird Radio. For the next 20 to 30 minutes, you'll be listening to some of my favorite records at the moment by Lani Rose and Dumu, exclusively on Bitbird Radio. Okay, so you guys are about to listen to one of my favorite songs of this year. It's by Dumu, and it's called Feather. It's taken from his EP titled Talk. Now please go listen to this EP if you haven't already, but this song has really stood out to me in a lot of ways because not only do I love my house music, but it just has this overall vibe that makes me feel like I have the greatest friends around me or I have the greatest social life ever. It's also the kind of tune that just makes me feel so happy. I hope you guys will feel the same way too.
We'll get started in just a moment. Alright, just give me one more moment and we will begin. I just need to make sure I sent this out everywhere I needed to, okay? Just give me a moment. We'll get started. Give me a second. Till then, just enjoy these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sounds by your boy San Holo. Okay. Let's transition, let's get everything going, lower this music a bit, and then we will begin. Do 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 do. What up, everybody? It's your boy Satoshi motherfucking Heavy in here with another edition of Satoshi Shit Show. Hope everybody's been well since the last time we spoke. The analysis that I last gave was pretty much on point. The last time we spoke, if I do not believe, we were somewhere up here taking a short. And I said we're gonna do this. The structure is somewhat different, but inherently it has held within the confines of what I believed was to happen during that analysis up here. So, again, welcome. And with that, let's start this thing. Oh yeah, I need to open up the chat room because that's very important. Chat room. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, wrong way. Wrong thing. Wrong thing. Where the hell is it? Oh, there we are. What up, Michael? What's up, man? How you doing? Okay, I'm just gonna allow this. Boom. Okay, there should be no playback anymore. Okay. We'll start with Bitcoin, go to Ethereum, possibly touch on an alt if I see enough people ask about it. But usually my chat rooms are somewhat quiet because I'm still a relatively small streamer on YouTube. But hopefully that will change if I'm being more consistent on a weekly basis. But yeah, so with Bitcoin, let's start. I mean, we have some action going on now, but let's go ahead and go to the higher time frame real quick. Let's go to like the 4 hour. Let's actually go to the daily. Okay, excuse my scribbles, my children's scratch here, but let's just delete this because it's not important for us right now. Neither is this. This is now broken. This is oh shit. Hold on, was that broken? What was that? Yeah, that's broken. That's not important. That's important. Okay. Oh, what up, Big Mike? I did not know your name was Michael. I'm sorry, man. What up, Hawk? Anyways, let's begin. My first implication is on the higher time frame is that we are still correcting in some sort of manner. In my opinion, we have effectively broken down in a three-wave pattern, and that was abruptly proven true and followed by an extreme movement out of the low. There is still a possibility that this pattern still could do this, but in my opinion, volume doesn't lie, and we must be very tentative to that. And especially since, in my opinion, the structure that I alluded to on this structure to be completed by was very true in every aspect possible that you given to me. The only thing that was broken in regards to the Elliott wave analysis was the internal structure of each subwave was not what you would traditionally expect of an impulse, which would be a 5-wave denotation. Instead, there was 3-wave denotations. So I had some heat coming at me. It's like, why are you labeling like this? It's I only count 3 waves. Blah blah yada yada. The only time that happens is if it overlaps in a diagonal. Blah 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 yada yada. Well, if I would have listened to that, I would have gotten on that trade at $7,700. And most of the people who were in my group that saw that as a buying opportunity over that $7,700 mark wouldn't have also gotten into that. So, in my experience through the markets, how are you guys doing to but well, let me discuss before you start yelling at me. So like we said, I've just seen too many 5-wave patterns on the higher time frames not denote into 5-wave 5-3 5-3 5-3s on the smaller time frames. And this happened to happen on a higher time frame where everybody was able to see it. And so most people thought it was not possible. But since I am a small, low time frame trader, I see this often. So often or not that I am willing to say and admit that I am a 100% believer that in the cryptocurrency markets, you do not have to denote the subwaves to 5-wave impulses to conclude a larger time frame 5-wave impulse. So what all that means is that this doesn't have to be 5 waves to be wave 1. This doesn't have to be 5 waves to be wave 3. And this doesn't have to be 5 waves to be wave 5. All it has to do is make a 5-wave impulsive pattern being wave 3 exceeds greater than 1.618 extension. Wave 4 does not cross the 1.236 extension of 1, 2, 3. And wave 5 breaks the low of or the high of wave 3. If all this happens, then you have yourself an impulse. Okay? Now, let's get to why I believe we're still in the correction. On the highest degree count you could possibly get, this chart does not show it, but let's just go to BLX real quick so we can just stay on top of why I believe what I believe. Let's go to the 1 month. On the 1 month, in my opinion, you clearly could see a 5-wave impulsive pattern. Clear as day. And just by the basis of how impulses work, in my opinion, we just need more time to correct. At least of 1/3 range of this entire structure. Which is here, right? Here's that 1/3 range that I'm talking about. So, in order for me to completely believe that this was a low of the low and we're continuing on to new highs, we would have had to make this low in this box here. But since we did not make that low within that box, I cannot say this is the low indefinitely. And I could see, I have to say that no matter what, this is what held us in the confines of a larger degree correction. And yeah. So, until I am proven wrong, I have to just stick to what I believe and how I trade on the higher time frame. But This doesn't mean that we can see some good bullish action on the smaller time frames, like the daily or something like that. Let's just dive right back into this daily, and let's just draw out our zones for the higher time frame count. This is going to be a quite extensive analysis today because I am planning to do just a little bit more in detail in regards to the higher time frame stuff, because that's what most people would trade off of anyways. So, especially new traders. Coming up the high here, this is what I would deem the up and outright bullish zone. So if you get over that Bitcoin, which is still a large number, right? 30,000, that's pretty high, right? So that would be, in my opinion, if price was to get over this sometime in the future, I would be outright bullish and expecting this to go even further. But the way I use Elliott Wave is to help denote and find the most logical path of price action. And you use this by breaking down the rules in regards to what you see on the chart and trading based on those rules. And after a 5-wave impulse, you could assume there's going to be a 3-wave decline or corrective phase. And like I said, I truly believe that this is a 5-wave impulse. So just on the basis of that, you could say, one way to say that this was a 3-wave decline and that's enough and we're going to continue up to new highs. Sure, that could be true, but prove me wrong. I'm still going to be on your trade to the highs to this point if this is going to be true. And regardless, I'm still going to make money, so I don't care. The reason why I just went over it, but the reason why I believe this was not our low is just because it didn't make the low in the time I expected to make the low in regards to my form of Elliott Wave analysis. And so there's only two things I could say from this. Well, actually one thing is that we're still correcting. And since this is a 3-wave pattern, and this has most definitely broken up into what I believe is an impulsive pattern, I have to say that this is held within a bigger corrective structure. And how this plays out could be a million and one ways. And it doesn't mean we could do this. It does mean we could do this, but it doesn't mean that's going to happen. You just have to be very aware of what is happening on the smaller time frames and trade based on that. You know, you piece the puzzle together from the smaller time frame up to the bigger time frame to really get your very concrete form of direction. Now, with all this said, we could go back to the other chart and start really deducting everything else I wanted to talk about. Just give me a second. I always forget which chart I'm using to trade off. I'm pretty sure it's a Kraken chart, but I'm not too entirely positive. Oh my gosh, so many clicks. Oh, there we are. Welcome back. Anyways, so I believe this is a 5-wave impulse. All right. And so, in my form of analysis, which is very heavy on time, I need a low within a 1/3 range to conduct this as a completed pattern on a downside. So let's just see where that is. Here's the 1/3. We didn't make it low. That's why I was still bearish in this structure up here on this little flat here. This got me a little whirlwind here because I wasn't too sure on that, but anyways. You notice that we hit a low here, but it wasn't exactly in a hot spot, but it was very close. So, it's so close that I'm willing to say this could be a possible low up until, like, you know, more highs until another impulsive structure similar to this. But I'm just one to say that's not going to happen yet. I just don't think that, just because there's so many bullish people around, well, everywhere in my opinion, in regards to crypto, thinking like, you know, we're going to break up out of this up to new highs or whatever. I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm huge on swinging against the to guess the greater trend of what everybody else is thinking online. So far, it's poised to be one of the greatest things that we've used in our trading algorithm in regards to what we look for. And so I just look for ways that make sense in regards to my formula analysis and piece it together to form a thesis that fucks the most people on the online out of their positions. And so this is why I believe this. We made a 3-wave, and any possibility in your mind that the December low to the 14K high was an ABC with an extended C wave to the any move beyond a 1.618 extension is inherently bullish, and I am a firm believer of that. And since this move here was what would we call this? Anyways, this move here was greater than a 1.61 extension of this move here. I cannot denote this as an ABC. One may argue this is like a WXY combo, like ABC, and then like a X, and then like a ABC. But I also don't like that because it breaks channels, and WXYs don't break channels. So since it broke a channel, was greater than a 1.61 extension in all facets, I cannot denote this as a corrective structure. I can only denote this as an impulsive structure. It's the only thing it can denote it as. Only thing. So, again, let's begin. Since I declared this as a 3-wave decline, and it's, like I said, it was so close to being, within the range I look for the sister wave 2 to 1 or A to B, it was a very hard buy signal down here for all of us in Elevate trading. And since that, we have to believe there's only two things that could come from this. Either this is the low from this structure, and this is A, B, and this is coming up for C, and this is wave 1, 2, and this is going to be 3 coming up, which I don't believe. Or, second idea, this is just a 3-wave structure of a bigger 3-wave structure, and you're going to find out what is the most logical path to the larger implications to that. So, I've denoted that there's 2 ways that we could figure out. There's only 2 things that could come from this. First of all, in regards to that analysis, meaning it's not impulsive, we're still corrective. There are only 2 things we could denote from this. And if you're an alleywave trader and study the books, you should understand what it is. It's not hard. It's just piecing together the puzzles. So there's only 2 structures that could come from this: a W, X, and a Y, or an A and a B and a C. Well, what's the difference? Time. Only difference is time. Only difference. It's the only difference. It's time. And so we're gonna use what we know about time and the alleyway principle and use it to our best advantage to try to note where we would find the most logical turning points in both price and time. Here's the X-Wave algo that I always talk about. It's my favorite algo ever. I've used it countless times. Time and time and again, it has proven to be so freaking powerful. Here's the B-Wave algo. Right? So if this is going to be a B-Wave, we'll stay corrective up until here. If this is going to be an X-Wave, we'll stay corrective till here and continue lows. I am one to believe... I don't know. Honestly, it can go either way. It really can. It just depends on what happens. All I know is that this, for me, this low was impulsive to the upside, at least for the time being, in regards to a 3-wave structure. So, like that, and sorry for the fucking Twaco drawing, but that low right there, in my opinion, came off an ABC, a very logical ABC. Here's the 1.61 extension. Is the invalidation point? We did not hit that. We hit exactly a 1.236 extension, which is very, very logical in regards to the alleyway principle to being a flat. Well, not a flat, but a a target for Elliott wave for an ABC. And since I count a 5-wave impulse in this, and it is accompanied by those attributes that we discussed earlier, there's no way I cannot discredit this as what I believe is an ABC. And so I have to believe that this is impulsive, and I have to believe that this is only corrective in regards to this impulse. And we're going to find another leg at some point to the upside. It's just trying to figure out what is the most logical way to get there in this structure here. And we'll get to that. But that's basically it on the entire time frame. And to Hawk, who said it's very hard for him to see this X wave, I want to know why. DM it to me in Discord, because to me it's very logical. It makes complete sense. And I could very well see it happening. An X wave is a short and snappy movement that is accompanied by 2 3-wave patterns on either side of it. And so this is directly fits that, and so it's very logical for us to see. Time's kind of running out here, so I would probably be more one to say that this is probably going to end up being like ABC, and then like this, and then like this, possibly then down. And it'll be an A and a B and a C. Alright, let's go to the smaller time frame. What we're really hungry about here. So there's a lot of ways that we could, find a completion to this. We can tally up all the way down here and come up like this, and this will be the X wave. Or we could find a low here, come up right there, and that will be the X wave. So don't be too hungry on buying the dip, Buy on confirmation. But in my opinion, this is the most logical thing that's going to happen, and this is what we've been trading so far. This was the impulse to the downside. This was the impulse to the upside. And I believe this was the ABC. If we break below this low, then I'm going to have to obviously scrap this idea, as this is the ABC, and this comes up like that for ABC. And then I would have to come up, I would have to say that then that was ABC there. That was a flat, and this was A, B, C, and this was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that.
Give it up for Laxity, everyone. Amazing selection of songs. Baritime's producer. Much love to you, man. Go check out his stuff. It's special. Alright, guys. That's it for me for this week's episode. For the full track list of all tracks I've played, head over to my socials. At Songhole Beats.
Yep. Now that'll be 100% logical and possible. Invalidation would be down here. Whew! Imagine that. Taking that for a ride, buying those dips. So you gotta be careful. You gotta understand what can happen in regards to the analysis and what you have to be ready for. Because you could get sidelined by some movement, and you're like, what's going on? And you don't know if you should just close or not. And the reason why I'm so easily able to close losing positions out is because I know what those losing positions could turn out to. Because I know the logical paths of those positions. So there's only 2 things for me in regards to Bitcoin that could happen. Mouse is too fast. Hold on. Okay. And it's either that this is A, B, C, and this is just like the first movement up. We could expect this, something like that. This is my primary. Or the secondary, which I just went over. This was, oh shoot. This was A, this is B. I know that's not a C wave, but just for practical matters, ABC, whatever, flat, contracting flat. And this was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Invalidation to that structure would be a move down here. If we move down here, it would be 100% bearish. In regards to the Elliott wave structure and its price action in general. I don't like this as much as A, B, C, because time is running out for it to be true. In ABC, two waves will always mimic each other in time, and one will be vastly different, either extremely short or extremely long in regards to both of them. And since this A wave is extremely short in regards to this B, if we're going to label this as an A, B, C, we would have to assume that this B wave would have to take on the characteristics of the C wave in regards to time. And if we take the study from here, we see that the logical ending zone is actually from here to here, which, in my opinion, this could still work. You know, this could 1, 2, 3, 4. This ABC could still work, but time is running out. And if we don't, in my opinion, break this low here by about what's today, the 10th? By the 12th, if we don't break this low at 8,820 by the 10th, I'm gonna say that we're moving up till the at least 9,600. Okay. If you didn't buy this low, that would be more of a confirmation. We broke, in my opinion, a pretty good trend line here that you have to be very aware of. And we broke this high trend line here, which is a range trend line support, resistance, which is important in a wave. So it's just hard to say we move down from here. But again, prove me wrong. In the smaller time frames, some people got confused on how would you count this. I mean, it is pretty most likely like it's definitely an ABC of some sort. You could say this is a contracting flat, and that was just your break, and this is ABC. Or you could say that was ABC, and this was 1, 2, 3, and the fourth or fifth wave never came because time ran out, and you started moving up. That was definitely an A. This could be A, B, C, D, E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could be your movement, company movement for that. But in order for this to be a true movement, we have to have a minimum requirement. And the minimum requirement would be the golden box, which is there. And so this, if we do this and at least hit this and make it low, this will be 100% logical that this is this. And we can continue down to new lows. That's the minimum requirement that this structure must take on in order to say this is the ending point. But in order for that to be true for me, we would have to take a nasty rejection down at least to that point after we hit that point, breaking that pivot that we just established here. This is an intraday pivot. So if we break up from this point and then reject hard and back below that pivot, I'll be shorting any move coming up. That is a trade trigger for one of our forms of analysis, which is value range theory. It's what got us in on this trade here. And so from that, let's move on to Ethereum. That's all for Bitcoin. All for Bitcoin. I went over a lot of stuff on Bitcoin because Bitcoin's the big papa and will lead the market. When Bitcoin's bullish, everything's bullish, okay? Bitcoin's bearish, everything's bearish, all right? So that's why I went so in depth with Bitcoin in regards to every time frame. Ethereum won't be so much. But I'm going to get onto the higher time frame count with Ethereum because I haven't gotten into that for quite some time because I wanted to see if any pattern came to my, popped up. Still very messy. Still very messy. So, in my opinion, that was impulsive. And also, in my opinion, Ethereum made a 5-way impulse on a different chart, it does come up like this. And it's also a 5 impulse. I forget what chart that is. Is that Bitfinex? Nope. That's another chart that has another move down there like that. I forget what it is though. Bitstamp? Nope. Oh, Kraken. It's Kraken. It's fucking Kraken, eh? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In my opinion, that's a 5-wave impulse. So, if we do my form of analysis, I mean, you can include that. I guess we'll include that for now. It's hard to. I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird. Very weird. It's hard to. It's very speculative on this, but whatever. We didn't hit a low in a time I wanted to, so there's no way I just can't say this is a low that we're gonna see indefinitely for Ethereum. And this is what aids my idea with Bitcoin being corrective still. A, B, C. I don't think it's gonna get that low, ever. But I think 50 is very logical for this. We broke a pivot here. Here's a pivot, right? Only way we start to change that is if we get back over that range and start closing indefinitely. They make a flat pattern above that. Then I'll be bullish. But until then, I'm still bearish. As long as Ethereum's in that range, I'm bearish till 50. On the highest time frame possible. But does it mean you can still make money trading the low time frame like the daily? So the time we're going to look for this, for this wave, wave 2 to end will be here. But since this is already taking a longer time, we're going to start looking for other ideas within the structure we're studying here. You cocksucking son of a gun. So if this is going to be A and this is going to be B, we already see we're pretty elapsed in time. In my opinion, that was ABC here. A, B, C. It had a 1.61 extension to a tick in that structure. And that was so close to being in the time we need that I can say this was the high. And this is now continuing down to 50. But I don't believe that because the way Bitcoin looks. On other Bitcoin cleared, in my opinion, made a clear as day 5-wave impulse, and I just cannot not say that. And so this is why I believe that we're still in the corrective phase for Ethereum, like that, and we have to figure out how to trade it. That's it. I don't know what chart this was. What chart was this? Ew, it was I remember it. I said if we got back in this range, we're shorting, and look what happened. We were very smart. We took that advice, played it well. I don't know. It's just very hard to say it's not this. Anyways, we've so far not closed or below that low, so I'm still bullish until proven otherwise. In regards to BRT, there's two ways that WXY is formed. X is very short and snappy, which I thought that was X wave. This is the A, B, C, but it looks like we didn't do that. So I now believer that this is now an ABC or WXY, and meaning this X is gonna come here. Either WXY formed in two ways. Either X is really short, or they all share the same time characteristics. But how do you count this, you know? How do you label this? It'd be very difficult. A. Hold on, I'm gonna actually do something. Let's check something real quick. A little too short. A little too short. See, this is why like the internal structure of Ethereum is a gigantic mess. Like this structure right here is a mess for Ethereum. It's a mess. It really is. I'm not gonna lie. Just double check something. Double check something. Okay, cool. So I was considering labeling this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't do that. Doesn't make sense. So, in my opinion, this doesn't make sense to label this a WX. You know, a running flat, you know, A, B, C, because this broke below my validation point for a running flat. So I cannot say this is A, B, C. I can only denote this as this move from here to this low as one move. And I have to figure out what the freak is going on here. This was definitely impulsive in regards to this structure here that's forming here. And we're looking for this on the other side. But it's trying to figure out how the hell we're going to figure out where's the trade at, you know, where's the buy-in at, where's a good trade at. And I like this to be true because we didn't break below the invalidation point to a running flat A, B, C at all. The only thing that's hard for us is finding what makes the most sense in this structure here. Let's just check something. This actually did it. You know what? This actually works. A, B, C. It had a minimum requirement to consider that as a flat. Now for our second check, does time work? Look at that. It works. So that is logical in both time and price. Contracting flat. You dickhead. So now we gotta throw out some rules for this pattern we're studying, so we know when to not stop trying to trade it and or exit our position. Outright bullish point would be over this. Your target would be here though. Now do a second check. Okay, since B was kind of overextended here from this A, we have to say that this is going to be true. This works really well. really well. Here's the max amount of time we can allow for this idea. Anything, if we don't make a high by this, you scrap this idea and we're going down. So our idea here is A, B, and it's gonna be a C wave. Probably like a diagonal. And in a diagonal, your wave 2 to wave 4, the sisterhood compatibility thing doesn't really happen. So what I'm going with, we have to make a high by this time for us to believe this. We have to make an invalidation point prior to that, though, to their downside. In my opinion, it's closing below that. That's just how I feel in regards to pivots and how I use them. VRT rule, though, would be a move below here. If we move below there, we're bearish. But I expect us to hold this D3X range pivot here at 174. And I expect these impulses, if it to be true, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to be really fast, which will work for this. 2 being very long. We'll see though. WXY. This wouldn't work for a WXY. I mean, it could. Actually, you can't at all. Nope, I don't like it. So I only like this as an ABC with the contracting flat here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cannot get in small time for Shiznits. I'm a believer that this was a running flat here. This is A, this is B, and now we're moving up for C. We need consistent closes over this. If we close below that, then we're bearish. As long as we're above that line, we're bullish. Trend date's bullish. No reason to be bearish unless you're finding a logical place to end this pattern, which we're about to figure out right now. I'm thirsty as a mother effer, so I might go get a drink real quick. Hold on. Oh shoot, wrong spot. So the minimum price we need to reach for this, for even us to consider to short, would be here. But I don't like going for your minimum. I like going for your maximum, because then you're using risk evasive techniques, which is up here. So this is where you would be looking, up here, which I've already labeled many times. for two reasons. It's the 1.236 extension, 1.236 and 1.382 extension, which is the DCP extension of this ABC. This B can end anywhere. This B wave can end anywhere. It can end up here, it can end down here. We don't know yet. But we're going to use clues hidden within this structure, which is the B wave structure, to find out where the most logical place to place a short or exit our longs from this 181 buy-in. Yes, you heard that, 181 buy-in. You know, so let's just begin. Let's just continue on our process. So, like I said, the outright bullish area would be above 215. Move above 215 is outright bullish for Ethereum, but I even want to say above this 210 area is bullish. Why? Because that invalidates any structure, bearish, you know, any correction structure to the upside. Here's that level we always look for. Anything exceeding that to the other extents of the range is bullish. I mean, impulsive. So I already labeled it. And it just happens to collide perfectly with the DCP extension of the internal structure B wave. And the reason why I am in favor of breaking that high, at least to 200, rather than here, is because we made a running flat within the internal structure of the B wave. And that's inherently bullish. And so I have to just do my best to hold on to this stupid long I took at 181. It's not stupid, but and just let the technicals play out. And since this where are we at? Since this made a three-wave structure, this could do the same thing and still get us up there and we'll be perfectly fine. It doesn't need to be a five-wave impulse, and I already don't believe it's going to be a five-wave easy impulse to trade. It's going to throw you for a whirlwind. It's going to be difficult to count. It's not going to make sense if you try to put it into five-wave denotations. And we already went over this. Well, I didn't go over this, but in my opinion, this is a WXY. Makes the most sense. Y, A, B, C, or A, B, C, however you want to say it, it doesn't matter. Either way, it's not an impulse. It's the A, B, C, WXY, however you want to label it. It's not an impulse though. One might say this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I also don't really like that. Doesn't really fit the confines of any of the diagonals we try to study. If it's an expanding diagonal, wave 5 cannot hit the upper boundary of the wave 1 high and the wave 3 high. But you see here we did, so you cannot label it as a expanding diagonal. And the only logical thing we can say is that this was part of a first structure. This hit a low in the confines of the X waves algo we look for, so why not say it's that? Why not? And this hit a 1.382 extension, so my algo for WXY is flat X, either triangle or zigzag. And since this made a very impulsive movement to the upside with a high volume candle, I'm one to say that we're going to make a zigzag. And so, as long as we hold that, I do believe we're going to make a move very similar, if not greater, than this move here. But we won't retrace any lower than the point 382, in my opinion, in order to hold the confines of a zigzag. Which the 382 happens to collide very, very well with our VRT pivot to the upside. So, again, another reason why that level is very important for us to hold on close. Not only is it for VRT rules, but also for Elliott wave rules as well. And so, We gotta throw an outright bullish zone. So our target will be lowered just a little bit, but look how well it collides with the 200 mark that I was talking about. So I'll allow a wick above this, but if we start closing above 199, then I'm gonna say that this structure here that we're starting on a smaller time frame was wrong and more bullish than we thought. And it was like a one, I don't know, like a weird 1, 2, 3. I don't know. This also could just my mouse just died. Give me a second, my mouse died. Mouse died. 5, 4, 3, 2. Not one. Not one. Not one. Almost there. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay. Okay. Anyways, this also could just be the first move, you know, W, X, Y, and that will get us up here. But in my opinion, this structure here, it can only get to this point, and in regards to the structure we're studying. So, in my opinion, we're gonna get there and reject. And it's on us to signify if this is going to be a corrective structure, and then we'll again break up to the upside for like a bigger A, B, C, or W, X, Y. Or if it's a harsh rejection, break some pivots, then we can sell it to the downside. This is a 1-to-1 of yellow A. So I'm not getting lost in the sauce. I actually don't think it's a... I don't know, man. I don't know. Because if it's a WXY, that means we're going to end soon. But does it make sense for a WXY? But if it were, it would end here. But again, it doesn't make sense because the X in the middle is way too long. For my liking. So I like an ABC better just because of that. But this structure doesn't seem like an ABC. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All I know is that I'm bullish to the upside for now. Until levels are broken to the downside. Yeah, because I would like to label this a WXY, but this X right here takes this way too much time for me to say it's an X wave. It would have to be a B wave in regards to my form of analysis. So we'll see what happens. But until trend age flips bearish on the 1 hour, I am bullish. Because that will start invalidating my idea to the upside. But until then, this is what I have. This is what I believe. If we start closing below that level right here at 189, then I will start to think more bearish implications. But in my opinion, we at least have to hit a minimum target of here to just say this is a completed pattern for this B wave here. Okay? A, running flat B, coming up for a C wave of some sort. We'll see though. Okay. Next. Oof. Interesting. I swear I used to have a a Dow Jones chart, DJI chart that was absolutely boss. Because where I said, is this it? Obviously not. Okay, I lost it, so oh well. Continue on. Anyway, it was my chart was boss because I said we're buying that low in anticipation for one more high, and what happened? Exactly that. Son of a bitch, man. I wish I could find it, but it'll be taking so long. I'll find it and I'll post it eventually, but I'm not gonna do it online. Let's just go to Jesus Christ. Now I understand this could continue running on forever and ever and ever and ever. It just depends on what our people who own the money, who basically run the world, decide what they want to do with it. There has to be a longer. I mean, it's hard to interpret this because this goes back on till forever basically the history of the United States, and we don't obviously have that to graph. But I know from looking at other charts, so. I know we're fucking damn it. I know for a fact that we are extremely overextended. Extremely, so badly overextended. Makes no sense. One. And that is pretty dang freaking out of this world. So it's very, it's hard to conclude this as a logical wave analysis. But in my opinion, it's just very hard for me to say we continue on indefinitely to the upside here. Let's go to 1 week. And the reason why we're buyers of that is because I took this. It was an algo pattern for right here. I had the idea from this structure here. Break the upside, come down, break the bottom side, running flat, break over to the upside, running flat, upside, break the downside, running flat. And you're both doing very similar things. This is very contracting price action to the upside, and this is very contracting price action to the upside. In regards to the prior price action, that was very implosive. So when I look at this, in my opinion, I will label this structure here, because like I said, we don't have the entire empirical data to count this, to give us a really hard count, but we can try to figure out what's happening here. And in my opinion, this is some sort of ending move. If I was to label this, one, two, three, four. two ways to label this, honestly. One's extremely bullish, to be honest with you. One's very bearish. Pretty funny. Either that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is an ABC, and then we're going up again. Which is very hard for me to see. Why did I do that? Why did I do that rather than delete my lines? That was weird. Or the other thing. Oops. Why doesn't it delete it anymore? That's freaking stupid. And this internal count here would be I don't know why it doesn't do that's so weird. Stop erasing my account. It's so weird. So weird. Anyways. It's the way divergences look and stuff. I know divergence is false to proven true, but it's the way this looks, man. Hard for me to say we continue up indefinitely. There's two things, you know. That's A, that's B, and that's C. Or this is the, you know, the end of the structure. And this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But also that doesn't really look right as well. We would have very easy invalidation points to that structure, though. Very easy. Anything above this number would be bullish. And it lines up really well with the DC beats to that side, so I like this idea a lot. So this works. Any diagonal. I'd assume we're going to end somewhere in this purple box, just prior to that white line. I don't know why I can't edit anything. Like it's not nothing's popping up in the trading view. It's like lagging or glitching or something. Anyways, I want to put an alert there so I'm warned that when the price enters that zone, I'm wanting to short the like we piss out of this thing. Next. Essentially the same exact idea. Literally. Literally. Same exact idea. Dude, look at that. This following my stupid strategy would be 77% profitable on a monthly time frame. That's retarded. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And this is not on Hank and Ashley, you dickweeds, either. Anybody out there is hating on that shit. But it even increased to 84. But obviously, that's not true because it's on Hank and Ashley. But if you were watching this, it'll be very... If you were just able to sit here and watch this, you'd get very close to 84. Because as soon as it said short, you'd be able to enter that short. Because it's not on close. It'll display the short before it closes, but it'll flip if it's wrong. You know, if price goes the other way. So weird. That's how I go. Wild. This won't you won't always catch the majority of the trend, but you'll catch the safest part of the trend. And that's the goal of this indicator. Again, pretty good on decent on a daily. Not impressive. Using other things like this, buddy, will help you form a better bias with this. Anyways. Yeah, the SPX is very much the same. I'm sorry I went on a little tangent there, but it's very much the same. That is weird. It's weird how my trend date like lags right there. What the hell? That makes no sense. So weird. But yeah, anyways, yeah, SPX is very much the same. What else did I say we'll cover today? Let me double check. Hold on, I'm trying to look for my Twitter. I have open a Twitter. I forgot what other pairs we're supposed to cover today. Bitcoin, ETH, SPX, DGI. Oh, okay, we're done. We're done. One thing is for certain on SPX though, is that this could also be very bullish as well. So we gotta be very careful and understand that we have stops for a reason if you're going to open up some shorts against this. Because literally, you know, you have the president saying we're going to freaking the moon. You have the Wall Street Journal saying it's safe to open up large investments in the legacy markets. Whose side do you want to be on? Satoshi side, or Donald J. Whatever the fuck his name is, freaking red top. I don't know. I don't care. Or do you want to be on their side? Do you want to be where everyone's trade is gonna be at, or do you want to create your own thesis and one idea? Your choice, right? We have rules for a reason. To protect yourself if indeed we are wrong. But in my opinion, it will be very silly for anyone to not attempt to go with this. Again, there is a bullish aspect to this where this is here's your invalidation point. Anything above that, that's where your stop is. If you're trying to short, okay, so you're shorting this range right here. Just stop right there. It's very good risk to reward ratio. 1, you know everybody's going against your trade. You're like, well, what do you mean everybody's going against my trade? Why would I go against everybody? Well, because everybody doesn't win. Everybody loses. The very few win, okay? And I've preached this and preached this and preached this and preached this in my group. And we never, ever, ever, ever enter a trade that's in the majority. Once we see we're in the same trade as the majority, we look for a reason to be wrong. And again, it's one of my main tactics to my trading algorithm. Until I am disproven, I cannot say. I cannot go against it. Again, the bullish aspect is this is like an A, B, C, and we're coming up like this. Very possible. Again, invalidation will be this little dot, this little area right here. A move above 3,170 would be outright bullish for the SPX. In my opinion, DXY still looks like a sell signal. Pretty nasty. We broke the bear range pretty harshly down to the 20 range. Coming with some nasty. You'd be silly not to try to short this. It's possible that this is just ABC. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I'm willing to short that, you know, go for a short across the board on USD pairings. Or long anything against USD. Yeah, it doesn't work for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have no choice but to label this A, B, C for now. Oh shit. Invalidation will be right. I would say we're going to reject there, but if we start moving above this, then it's invalid. And reply more bullish, and this was a fake out for the bears, you know. Bears just got cooked. We'll see. Because this could be like some gigantic flat, I guess. Like A, B, C. This goes up like this, and it's part of this structure here of some sort. But prove me wrong. I'm assuming this does this. Boop. Breaking that, and well, yeah, break of this would get much worse pretty quickly. But in my opinion, break of that would be absolutely catastrophic for the dollar. Okay. All right. That's basically it. If you have any questions, anything that you want to ask me, this is your time. Your time to shine right now. Is right now. You ask me questions right now. Is now elapsed. I'm gonna cover Pret Hawks ask a question. Thinks on Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin. Let's go to Bitcoin. I love this song. Holy shit. Okay, let me help you, bud. All right, his first label and denotation is that was one structure, A, B, C. This is A, B, C for an X wave, and this is another A, B, C coming down. Let me help you, bud. Right here. This is where the good wave traders separate themselves from the bad wave traders. The reason why I don't label that as a C wave or an ending wave to this structure here, it's just because of rules for Elliott wave. It didn't break any range it didn't break any significant range to their downside. We actually stayed within it. Here's a specific range I was talking about. Since this didn't break a range to their downside, we have to denote this as a corrective structure in regards to this. If this move would have broke that range indefinitely like that and came down here, then we could have said this was the A, B, C, and that could have been the flat. But since it didn't do that, we can't say it did. It's part of that structure. Second off, time is of essence here. Since A is really short compared to that, you have to say this B and C have to have the same time aspects. And this was a 5-wave impulse. You cannot say this was not a 5-wave impulse. If you are, you're blind. You see, it doesn't work as well. So everything about that is wrong. The only thing that worked was the 5-wave impulse for A. That was true. But since B was now over time of A, you must hope that this B is at the same time as this C here. But since they weren't, you cannot say they're of the same degree. Second row. Let's just say that we label that as W. There's only two ways W, X, Y is formed. One way is my favorite way. W, X, Y. X is really short and snappy. Has a 1/3 time variant of W. And then Y has shares a 1/3 time aspect of W. Second way, W, X, and Y all share similar time aspects, and it's very sideways. They all share within a 1/3 time aspect. Those are only two ways W, X, Y is formed. Sorry, I was a little off, but you get the gist. So with this understanding and knowledge, let's just go back to your idea. Notice how this didn't make a pivot high in the time you need? It did here. It did here. So if you were going to label a WXY, I would label it this. W. X. This is Y. A, B, C. And that works, but you see how we're running out of time? And we already hit a low in the time aspect we need. So I would even argue that your WXY would be complete. W, X, A, B, C, Y. That works. And then we move up indefinitely. And this, I mean, that's very logical, and it works. So it works so much to say that if we do get above this, I'm willing to say that this was A, your W, X, Y was true, and this is C. A, B, C. But, again, I don't like that 100% because of that move here. To me, it didn't break any ranges specifically to, like, indefinitely to the downside. It was held within that range right there. If it would have snuck below it and did that, you know, and then like did that quick wick right there below and then snap back up and then go up, I would have said this could have been an A, B, C. Like, I would have been more willing to say that. But since I have a very logical primary count right now, I'm just going to stick with that. And if this trade comes about, I'm going to trade it to the upside like this. But until then, I'm going to stick to my count here. which is this A, B, C of some sort, which will complete B. There should be another 3-wave termination point. So this is a 3-wave termination point, 3-degree termination point. This will be a 3-degree termination point. This will be a 4-degree termination point. This will be a 5-degree termination point. So, yeah. All right. All right. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed this session. It's been wonderful. It's been well. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the tunes, see if there's any last minute questions coming in, and I'll get the freak out of here because I know how annoying my voice could be. I'm getting tired of my own voice. So, if you enjoyed this, if you took any knowledge from this, took any ideas from this, please hit that like button and please hit that subscribe button. I'm really trying to be more consistent on YouTube once a week, every week on Sunday. You can expect this to happen. My members will get more live sessions throughout the week and daily videos via Loom. If you want those, join Elevate Trading. We are happy to welcome all and help any traders of any degree, experience, high, low, or just a beginner. We welcome all. We have something for everybody. So again, thank you. Appreciate that. Don't forget to retweet my stuff on Twitter. Hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. And you can catch me again next week. Alright? I'm going to pump up the tunes. And then we could get out of here. Alright? Much love, everybody. Appreciate you. Until next time, this has been your boy with another edition of Satoshi's Satoshi Shit Show. Anyways, I'm gonna leave you with. Where the hell is it? Hold on. I need to find. I have so many browsers open. It gets a little messy. All right. So again, let's restart this. Try it again. Okay. Anyways, thank you everybody. Appreciate y'all liking and tuning into this episode of Satoshi Shit Show. This has been your boy Satoshi motherfucking Heavy. Until next time, hope to see ya. Peace.
Attracting me. I try to run, but see, I'm not that fast. I think converse, but surely finish last. Cause day and night, the lonely
stoner seems to free his mind at night. He's all alone through the